What if I told you that the hair clogging your shower drain isn't just a cosmetic annoyance, but a biological red alert? We often dismiss balding or thinning as just bad luck or getting old, but medical research now confirms that for millions of seniors, hair loss is actually the very first symptom of silent killers like heart disease, insulin resistance, and autoimmune failure. You might think you're just losing your looks, but your body is actually screaming for help. If you ignore this signal, you aren't just accepting a receding hairline. You could be missing the only warning sign you're going to get before a major health crisis strikes. It is a scary thought, I know, but here is the truth. Physiologically, hair is non essential tissue. When your body is in crisis, fighting a hidden infection, struggling with a failing heart, or starving for nutrients, it instinctively cuts off the supply to luxury items like hair to protect your vital organs. That means your scalp is effectively the dashboard of your health. When the check engine light comes on up there, it means something is wrong down here in the engine room. Today, we are going to stop treating this as a beauty problem. We are going to connect the dots between your scalp and your heart, your thyroid, and your immune system. By the end of this video, you won't just have a list of shampoos. You will have a roadmap to potentially saving your own life. Before we dive into these critical warning signs, I'd like to invite you to join our community. Consider subscribing to the channel right now. We share the kind of deep, science-backed senior health tips that doctors often overlook in those rushed 15-minute appointments. And I am curious, where are you watching from today? Drop your city or country in the comments below. It is always wonderful to see how far our family extends. Now, let's begin with one of the most common yet frequently missed internal alarms that rings through your hair follicles. We need to talk about the master controller of your metabolism, the thyroid. You might have heard of it, but few realize just how tightly coupled this butterfly-shaped gland in your neck is to the hair cycle. When your thyroid slows down, a condition known as hypothyroidism, everything in your body creates a backlog, including hair growth. It isn't just about shedding, it's about the quality of the strand. Let's look at the hard data. A comprehensive review published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism established that thyroid hormones directly alter the anatomy of the hair follicle, specifically the matrix where cells divide. When T3 and T4 hormones drop, the hair remains in the resting phase for too long. Imagine your garden in winter. The roots are there, but nothing is breaking the surface because the temperature, the metabolic fire is too low. The hair becomes dry, brittle, and thins out diffusely across the whole scalp, not just in patches. If you are losing hair and also feeling sluggish, cold when others are warm, or struggling with weight gain, this is your sign. The actionable takeaway here is crucial. Next time you see your doctor, do not just ask for a thyroid check. Ask specifically for a full panel that includes TSH, free T3, free T4, and thyroid antibodies, because standard tests often miss the subclinical issues that kill your hair. Moving deeper into the body's chemistry, we have to address the fuel that keeps every cell alive: oxygen and the vehicle that carries it, iron. You might think anemia is something only young women deal with, but for seniors, silent anemia is a massive lurking issue. Your hair cells are some of the fastest dividing cells in your body. They have a voracious appetite for energy. If your iron reserves are low, your body enters a triage mode. It says, we don't have enough oxygen for the heart and the hair, so the hair has to go. This isn't just speculation. A pivotal study published in the Journal of Korean Medical Science analyzed thousands of patients and found a statistically significant correlation between low serum ferritin levels and female pattern hair loss, as well as diffuse thinning in men. Ferritin is the storage protein for iron. Think of it like the gas tank in your car. Your blood tests might show you have gas in the engine, but if the tank ferritin is empty, the car will eventually stop. Your hair is that car sputtering on the side of the road. If you've been feeling breathless on stairs or unusually fatigued, don't ignore it. Ask your doctor to check your ferritin levels, not just your blood count. If it is below 40 or 50 nanograms per milliliter, even if that is technically normal on some lab ranges, it is often insufficient for hair growth. Boosting this through iron-rich foods like spinach, lentils, and lean red meats paired with vitamin C for absorption can be like turning the lights back on in a dark house. While we are discussing what fuels the body, we have to talk about the foundation of your immune system and structural integrity. There is a specific nutrient that acts as the architect for your hair, and without it, the structure simply collapses. I'm talking about vitamin D. We often associate vitamin D with bone health, preventing rickets or osteoporosis, which is vital for us as we age. But the receptor sites for vitamin D are actually found on the hair follicle itself. Research published in Stem Cells Translational Medicine found that the vitamin D receptor is essential for initiating the anagen or growth phase of the hair cycle. Without adequate vitamin D, the follicle cannot cycle, it stays dormant. It's like trying to bake bread without yeast. You can have all the flour and water you want, but it will never rise. Given that, studies show over 40% of American adults are deficient in vitamin D, a number that skyrockets in the senior population due to less sun exposure and thinner skin. This is a pandemic of its own. If you are noticing hair loss and you also have vague bone aches or a depressed mood, the sun vitamin might be your missing link. The fix is simple but precise. Get your 2,5 hydroxy vitamin D levels tested. If you are low, a supplement is often necessary as food sources are scarce. Aiming for optimal levels, not just barely sufficient, can reactivate those dormant receptors and wake your hair up. Let's shift gears from nutrients to the rhythm of your life. We need to have an honest conversation about stress. I don't just mean the annoyance of traffic or a lost set of keys. I mean chronic, high level physiological or emotional stress. There is a condition called telogen effluvium, where a sudden shock to the system pushes up to 70% of your hair into the shedding phase all at once. This connection was brilliantly illustrated by researchers at Harvard University who discovered that the stress hormone cortisol specifically impairs the stem cells in the hair follicle. Under high stress, these stem cells stay in a resting state to conserve energy for the fight or flight response. Imagine your body is a country under siege. It stops funding the arts and parks your hair to fund the military, your survival muscles. This usually happens about 3 months after a major event, a surgery, the loss of a loved one, or a severe illness. You might be recovering, feeling better, and suddenly clumps of hair fall out in the shower. It's terrifying, but knowing the cause provides control. The takeaway is that this hair usually comes back if you lower the cortisol, prioritizing sleep, engaging in gentle mobility exercises, or practicing mindfulness isn't just woo-woo magic. It is a biological signal to your stem cells that the war is over and it is safe to grow again. Now, I want to pause for just a moment. We are covering a lot of ground, and I know it can feel overwhelming to realize how interconnected everything is. But take a deep breath. This information is not meant to scare you, it is meant to arm you. You are becoming the expert on your own physiology. If you are finding value in this deep dive so far, please take a second to hit that thumbs up button. It helps other seniors find this life-saving information. Resuming our journey, we must confront a slightly more aggressive culprit, autoimmunity. Sometimes the body's defense system gets confused. Instead of attacking viruses or bacteria, it turns its artillery on your own healthy tissues. In the case of alopecia areata, it attacks the hair follicles directly. But here is the warning sign you need to hear. Hair loss from autoimmune issues often does not travel alone. According to the American College of Rheumatology, people with one autoimmune condition are at a significantly higher risk of developing a second one. If you see coin-sized round patches of baldness appearing suddenly, this is the classic sign of alopecia areata. However, this could be a harbinger for other autoimmune conditions like lupus or rheumatoid arthritis. Imagine your immune system as a security guard who has started profiling the wrong people. If he's kicking out the hair cells, he might soon start hassling your joints or your skin. If you notice these distinct patches, or if your hair loss is accompanied by joint pain, butterfly-shaped rashes on your face, or extreme fatigue, this requires a rheumatologist, not a barber. Early intervention with anti-inflammatory protocols or immunomodulators can stop the attack before it spreads to vital organs. Next on our list is a connection that might surprise you, one that links your scalp to your blood sugar. We are talking about insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. We often think of diabetes as a disease of numbness in the feet or thirst, but the scalp is highly vascularized. High blood sugar damages the tiny blood vessels, the capillaries that feed the hair follicle. A study published in the European Journal of Cardiovascular Risk found a strong association between early onset androgenetic alopecia pattern balding and markers of insulin resistance. Essentially, if your body is struggling to process sugar, your blood becomes like a thick syrup. This syrup destroys the delicate microcirculation required to keep hair alive. It's like pouring concrete into a garden hose. The water just can't get to the sprinkler. This warning sign is critical because hair loss can sometimes precede a diabetes diagnosis by years. If you carry weight around your midsection, that visceral belly fat, and your hair is thinning, your body is begging you to stabilize your blood sugar. The actionable step: reduce refined carbohydrates and sugars, swap the white bread for whole grains, and take a 1-0 minute walk after meals. This helps your muscles soak up that sugar, clearing the syrup from your blood and reopening the supply lines to your scalp. Closely related to blood sugar is the engine of your cardiovascular system. There is a growing body of evidence linking the top of your head to the health of your heart. It sounds strange, doesn't it? But bear with me. Male pattern baldness, specifically on the vertex or the crown of the head, has been identified as a potential marker for heart disease. In a large-scale analysis published in BMJ Open, researchers found that men with severe vertex baldness had a 32% increased risk of coronary artery disease compared to men with a full head of hair. The theory is that the same biological mechanisms causing the arteries to harden and plaque to build up inflammation and hormonal sensitivity also cause the hair follicle to shrink and die. Your scalp is essentially a microcosm of your arteries. If the vessels up there are rusting like old pipes, there is a good chance the pipes around your heart are struggling too. This is not to say that every bald man has heart disease, but it is a valid reason to be proactive. If you have significant crown thinning, treat it as a prompt to check your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and your inflammation markers like C-reactive protein. Your heart will thank you for listening to your hair. We cannot have this conversation without addressing the hormonal elephant in the room: dihydrotestosterone, or DHT. You may know that testosterone converts into DHT, and in those genetically predisposed, DHT binds to hair follicles and shrinks them until they disappear. But here is a twist. This isn't just about genetics. It is about hormonal balance, which can be influenced by your environment and prostate health. Research in the Journal of Investigative Dermatology has mapped out exactly how DHT miniaturizes the hair follicle. But for men, high levels of DHT contributing to aggressive hair loss can also be a signal to check your prostate, as the same hormone drives prostate enlargement, BPH. It's a double-edged sword. The poison attacking your hair is also expanding the prostate tissue, leading to those frequent nighttime bathroom trips that disrupt your sleep. If you are fighting a losing battle with your hairline and also noticing changes in urination, these are linked. The good news is that treatments which block DHT, such as finasteride or natural 5 alpha reductase inhibitors like saw palmetto and pumpkin seed oil, can often help both issues. You can potentially protect your prostate and your hairline with the same strategy. Let's go a little deeper into the very core of your digestion. There is a saying: you are what you eat. But the science-backed mentor version of that is you are what you absorb. You could be eating the perfect diet, but if your gut is inflamed or leaky, those nutrients are passing right through you, never reaching the hair follicle. A fascinating study in Cell Reports highlighted the connection between the gut microbiome and hair growth, showing that certain gut bacteria produce biotin and regulate the immune system's interaction with hair follicles. If your gut flora is out of whack, dysbiosis, it creates systemic inflammation. Think of your gut as the soil in a farm. If the soil is toxic or depleted, the crops will wither no matter how much sun or rain they get. If you suffer from bloating, gas, irregular bowel movements, or acid reflux, and you are losing hair, look to the gut, incorporating probiotic-rich foods like sauerkraut, kefir, or yogurt, and crucially, prebiotic fiber to feed those good bugs can heal the gut lining. When the soil is healthy, the crops can finally flourish. We also need to consider the external chemicals we introduce to our bodies. Medications. Polypharmacy, or taking multiple medications, is a reality for many seniors, but drugs are notorious for causing hair loss as a side effect, a condition called drug-induced alopecia. It is often overlooked because the hair loss starts months after you begin the medication. According to data referenced in the Journal of Cutaneous Medicine and Surgery, common drugs like beta blockers for blood pressure, statins for cholesterol, and even certain blood thinners and antidepressants can disrupt the hair cycle. It acts like a slow motion poison for the follicle. You might be blaming your age, while the real culprit is sitting in your pill organizer. I am not telling you to stop your heart medication. Never do that without a doctor's supervision. But if you pinpoint the timeline and realize your thinning started a few months after a new prescription, talk to your doctor. There are often alternative drugs in the same class that do not have hair loss as a side effect. It is a simple switch that can save your hair without compromising your health. Another hidden culprit that primarily affects women, but can affect men too, is the balance of sex hormones beyond just testosterone. We are talking about the ratio of estrogen to progesterone. As women move through menopause, estrogen drops. Estrogen is hair protective. It keeps the hair in the growth phase. When it dips, the androgens, male hormones that were previously masked, are now free to wreak havoc. A study in the British Journal of Dermatology confirmed that the drop in estrogen significantly shortens the anagen phase. But it's not just menopause, it's the adrenal glands trying to compensate. If your adrenal glands are exhausted from stress, they can't produce enough backup hormones, leading to a crash. This often manifests as thinning right behind the hairline or a widening part. The takeaway here is to support your hormonal health through phytoestrogens found in foods like flax seeds and soy, if appropriate for you. And again, managing that stress load. Hormone replacement therapy, HRT, is a discussion to have with your doctor as it has pros and cons, but for some, it is the key to halting the shedding. Let's move to a heavy metal that shouldn't be in your body: toxicity. We live in an industrialized world, and heavy metals like mercury, lead, and arsenic can accumulate in our tissues over decades. Seniors are at higher risk simply because we've had more time to be exposed. Research in the International Journal of Trichology has noted that heavy metal toxicity often presents with diffuse hair loss. Mercury, for example, which can accumulate from eating high mercury fish over a lifetime or from old dental amalgams, interferes with the protein synthesis of keratin, the stuff your hair is made of. It's like trying to build a brick wall, but someone keeps stealing the mortar. The brick's proteins just fall apart. If you have ruled out thyroid, iron, and hormones, and you still have unexplained hair loss, brain fog, or tremors, a heavy metal provocation test might be in order. It's a rare culprit, but a serious one. Simple daily detox habits, like drinking plenty of filtered water, sweating through exercise or saunas, and eating cilantro and parsley, can help your body naturally chelate these metals over time. We are nearing the end of our list, but we cannot ignore the fundamental building block of life: protein intake. As we age, our appetite for protein often drops, meat becomes harder to chew, or we just crave lighter foods like toast and tea. But hair is 90% protein. If you aren't eating it, you can't grow it. A study in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition highlighted that protein energy malnutrition is a leading cause of hair changes in the elderly. Your body requires a certain amount of amino acids just to maintain your muscles and organs. If you are only eating 40 or 50 grams of protein a day, you are in a deficit. Your body breaks down your hair to recycle the amino acids for your heart and liver. You are literally cannibalizing your own hair for survival. The fix is delicious and vital. Aim for 20 to 30 grams of high quality protein at every meal: eggs, Greek yogurt, fish, beans, or a simple whey protein shake can bridge the gap. When you have a surplus of protein, your body feels safe enough to invest in the luxury of hair growth again. Finally, let's discuss the role of chronic inflammation. This is the fire that burns silently in the background of almost all modern diseases, from Alzheimer's to arthritis to heart disease. And yes, it burns your hair follicles too. Research published in Nature has linked chronic inflammation to the disruption of stem cell activation in the hair follicle. When your body is chronically inflamed, perhaps from a high sugar diet, smoking, or unresolved infections, cytokines, inflammatory messengers, swarm the blood. They damage the follicle and create fibrosis or scarring. Once a follicle is scarred, it cannot grow hair. This is why scalp tension and inflammation are often talked about together. The scalp gets tight, blood flow is restricted, and inflammation sets in. The antidote is an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. Turmeric, curcumin, omega-3 fatty acids from fish oil, and a rainbow of vegetables are your fire extinguishers. By cooling down the inflammation in your body, you protect the delicate machinery of hair growth. We have covered a tremendous amount of ground today. I know it might feel like you need a medical degree just to manage your hair, but let's simplify this. The beauty of what we've discussed is that treating your hair loss is actually just treating your whole body. To recap, the major actionable steps. First, check your thyroid fully, not just the basic screening. Second, ensure your iron tank is full by checking ferritin. Third, get your vitamin D levels to an optimal range. Fourth, manage your stress to lower cortisol and save your stem cells. Fifth, keep an eye on autoimmune markers and joint pain. Sixth, stabilize your blood sugar to save your microcirculation. Seventh, monitor your heart health and blood pressure. Eighth, balance your hormones and check your prostate. Ninth, heal your gut to ensure absorption. And finally, eat enough protein and reduce inflammation. It sounds like a lot, but you don't have to do it all at once. Pick the one that resonates most with your current health picture and start there. My friends, I want to leave you with this thought. Losing your hair can feel like losing a part of your identity. It can make you feel vulnerable, fragile, and old. But I want you to reframe that narrative today. Your hair is your ally. It is the brave messenger running ahead to warn you of danger. By listening to it, you aren't just trying to look better, you are taking a stand for your longevity. You are telling your body that you are listening, that you care, and that you are willing to fight for your health. There is immense power in taking back control. Imagine waking up 6 months from now, not only seeing new growth along your hairline, but feeling more energy, sharper mental clarity, and less pain because you address the root cause. That is the promise of functional health. You are not a rusted out car destined for the scrap heap. You are a classic vehicle that just needs the right tune up. I want to hear from you now. Which of these hidden culprits surprised you the most? Is it the connection to heart disease or maybe the gut health link? Let me know in the comments below. Your shared experiences help everyone in this community learn and grow. And if you found this deep dive helpful, if it gave you a spark of hope or a new direction to explore with your doctor, please like this video and subscribe. Do it because your health is worth fighting for and because you deserve to have a mentor in your corner who gives you the full story. Remember, aging is inevitable, but decaying is optional. Listen to your body, treat it with kindness and science, and keep moving forward. I'll see you in the next video. Stay strong,